Hi there, it is Crystal Lopez from crystalandcomp.com. How are you doing today? I hope you are having a great day. All right, we are going to make an instant pot meal. Yay! It's going to be delicious. You're going to love it. I love instant pot meals because it allows me to just throw everything in there, and even though this is not a one pot meal because I'm going to make sides to go with it, I can throw everything in there and I don't have to do a ton of babysitting, which now hold on just a second. This is a recipe where we're going to do some sauteing first. But then once we get everything in there, we're just popping the lid on it and letting it do its thing. All right. So we're making Instant Pot lemon garlic chicken. It is delicious. My family loved it, and I think yours will too. So my husband is going to help me a little bit here. I am cutting up onion. He is going to cut up the garlic for me. We had some fresh garlic that we needed to use up. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I really love the jarred stuff just because it's so easy. But we had this fresh stuff that we needed to use up. And so he was willing to cut it up for me because I hate the way it makes your fingers smell, even though you wash your hands and wash your hands. And he doesn't mind. So there you go. All right, we are going to saute, like I said. So we've got the Instant Pot or pressure cooker on the saute feature, and we have a little bit of olive oil in there, maybe 2 tablespoons. Eyeball it. It doesn't matter. You're not going to mess it up if you do too much, and you're not going to mess it up if you do too little. Just add a little bit more if you need to, or, it's going to kind of cook out anyway. So, most savory recipes that I make start off with olive oil, garlic, and onion. If you've been watching my videos, you know that. So here we go. We're adding, this is like a medium onion. I did the whole thing. If you don't like onion, first of all, I think that some people that don't like onion are still willing to cook with it in this way because you can pick it out and it does give flavor. I have some people in my house that don't love onions, like they don't want onions on a burger. And they don't want big, huge pieces of onions in their food, but they'll pick out stuff like this, or it cooks down so much and becomes so translucent and soft they don't even realize that's what they're eating, right? All right, so he's cutting up the garlic. We are about to put in our chicken breast. So for this recipe, you're going to need 4 to 6 good-sized chicken breasts. You could do chicken thighs if you wanted. You'll need more chicken thighs than 6, but boneless, skinless is ideal. Honestly, if you have quarters or if you have legs, you could use those too. Use whatever you want to use. I used breast. I used 4 big ones, and I'm feeding 7 people. So I have 5 kids, 3 of which are teenagers. So that should say a lot. All right, we're going to take our chicken breasts. These are from my Costco grocery haul recently. I like to buy fresh, but I also like to buy their frozen chicken, and this is some of that, and I just put them in I take out what I need, put it in a Ziploc bag, and let it defrost overnight in the fridge. I've talked about that before in my how to meal plan video. So if you need some meal planning help, I have a video here that you can watch. I'll leave it down below in the description. Okay, so we are going to take these chicken breasts and we are going to use some garlic powder. So we've got the fresh garlic going in the saute part, but we're going to use some garlic powder, about half a teaspoon. Eyeball it. Don't stress over this. Roughly half a teaspoon of paprika, and then some salt and pepper. We're going to put that generously over all of these on both sides and let that kind of give some seasoning and flavor to the chicken. And it'll give some color with the paprika. So other ingredients that you're going to need is the olive oil, which we already talked about and you already know about. You're going to want some butter as well, because we're going to use that in just a bit. You know about the onion, you know about the fact that we're using garlic as well. And you're going to want to have a little bit of broth handy. If you don't have broth, that's okay. You could use water, will be totally fine. It just won't have quite as much chicken flavor. And then you're going to want to have a couple of lemons handy. If you have lemon juice opposed to real lemons, that's fine too, but there really is an elevated level to this when you do have the actual lemons, because we're going to use some of the zest and we're going to slice up some of the onions at the end to put on top of it, which makes for a pretty presentation. And then if you have some parsley, that adds some pretty color at the end. It could be dry in your pantry or it could be the fresh stuff. Either one, doesn't matter. So we've got the garlic, olive oil, and onions that are sauteing there. It is time to add the chicken. We're just going to add that right on top, and most of your pressure cookers will allow you to saute for up to 30 minutes. So, and then it'll shut off and say, what do you want to do now? So that's what we're going to do here. All right, I do want to know, do you prefer jarred garlic or do you prefer the fresh stuff, or do you prefer no garlic at all? I would love to know that. And my dogs, there they are hanging out in the kitchen watching us cook. It's one of their favorite things to do, and they are just hoping that we drop something. Now, I do want to ask you, my husband loves what is it called? The cutting board. He loves that cutting board. Anytime he's cutting something, that is the one that he grabs, or the glass one that we have. And those are my two least favorite because they're so big and bulky and it's hard. You have to wash them by hand. It's hard to fit them in the dishwasher. They won't fit. So being the person that I am, which I am very, like, one of my criterias for things in my kitchen, they need to be able to go into the dishwasher. So, I like the bendable, the ones that I use in most of these videos, the bendable cutting mats that you can easily just pour things from it into whatever, your cooking pot, and then they go in the dishwasher perfectly. Which do you prefer? Do you have a preference? He has his preference. I have mine. I would just love to know what your preference is. And also, do you clean as you go? I would love to know that. Do you clean up your counter space and put things away as you go along? Maybe do up some dishes if you have time. All right, so this is going to be a meal where we're using two Instant Pots. The Instant Pot that has the chicken in it is an 8-quart, which is perfect for our large family. We still have, I'm cooking for 7 people at least every night. So I've already told you that. I do buy my rice in bulk at Costco. Sometimes at Sam's, mostly at Costco. I store it in a 5-gallon food grade bucket with gamma lids so that it is nice and sealed. And we are going to use my 6-quart Instant Pot to cook the rice in. So here's my next question for you. Do you wash your rice? I grew up, my mom mostly cooked minute rice, and you don't wash that, or I don't think you do. I don't think she did. I don't think it's needed because it's kind of already been cooked to a degree. I believe that's how they make it so that it's minute rice. I think that's part of the process of it. Anyway, this is jasmine rice, and my husband is like, he does not cook rice without washing it. His mother doesn't cook rice without washing it. And I never really thought about it, I don't think, until I married my husband. So do you wash your rice? I wash it now. Been washing it for 20 years. So all right, we are just going to add a little bit of salt, and I like to sometimes add butter. Sometimes instead of water, I will do chicken broth. That does add a little more flavor, but we're just doing water this time and a little bit of butter, and we're gonna pop the lid on it, and that rice will cook in 4 minutes, which is absolutely amazing, okay? Then we're gonna add a little bit of the broth. If you don't have it, like I said, you could use water. We're going to add that to the chicken so that we can kind of deglaze the bottom of the pot where it's been sauteing. And also that will add enough liquid so that the Instant Pot can run properly. If you're not familiar with Instant Pots or pressure cookers, really electric pressure cookers, period, need to have at least a cup worth of liquid in them, or they will error out or burn your food. So you want to be careful with that. All right. So we are going to set this on high pressure in the pressure cooker function for 7 minutes. Okay. Now you need to know this about pressure cookers. Just because you have it set at 7 minutes doesn't mean it's going to be ready in 7 minutes. So it has to come to temperature. It has to come to pressure, and then your countdown to 7 minutes will start. So give yourself some buffer time there. All right. The next thing we're going to do is start some veggies in the oven. I've got the oven preheating, and we are going to take some frozen vegetables and put them on a sheet pan and do them just like we would do fresh produce, okay? But before we do that, I have this garlic bread loaf that I bought from, I think, on a Walmart grocery order. And this stuff is super good. The Walmart brand and the Pepperidge Farms brand are both really good. It's frozen. You just put it in frozen, and then when it's done, you can bust it open, and it has all the seasonings and the garlic butter all inside. It's really great. Okay, we're going to get these veggies going. I do suggest that you cook, when you're using a cookie sheet, use parchment paper. It makes cleanup so much easier. You're going to always see me doing that. It really, really helps. All right, we're going to put these veggies on here. We're going to just kind of lightly sprinkle them with olive oil, which is something that I do anytime I'm making sheet pan veggies, whether they are fresh produce or frozen produce. And then I'm going to use my favorite seasoning on top, which is one that I buy in bulk at Costco, and it's the Montreal steak seasoning. Oh my goodness, it is not just for steak. it is the best. It is the best, best, best on your veggies. Okay, so we are gonna pop that in the oven. All right, we are gonna add a little bit of butter to the pot after we take the lid off. So you'll let the pressure release and then add a little bit of butter. And now we're gonna take one of the lemons and cut it in half, and we're going to juice it and just put the juice straight in there. This is gonna be like a lemony, garlicky, buttery, delicious chicken. So good. So you'll juice that whole lemon, and then you're going to do, oops. Then you're going to do the zest of some lemon. Just, if you love lemon flavor, do as much zest as you want. If you don't like lemon flavor as much, like you want it to be kind of, the juice is enough, then skip the zest. It's up to you. But I did some zest from the pieces that I had cut, but also from the other one that I hadn't cut yet. So, we are just going to add that in there, and then we're going to cut up that other lemon into slices, and we're going to place those slices on top of the chicken, and it makes for more flavor, but it also is a delicious or a beautiful presentation whenever you are plating it all up. All right, so everything is going to finish up about the same time. The chicken, the rice, the veggies, the bread. The rice is done now. We did a fast release on it as well, and we're just going to kind of stir it a little bit so that we can, you know, see that it's all done. Lenny is actually installing some stuff for me there in the kitchen. The guy can do anything. I've always said that. Like, we never have a repair person in our house. He is always able to fix anything. So actually, it's not something that's broken. He is adding in, I don't know if you remember me mentioning this or not, but in one of my recent Costco hauls, maybe, well, it was actually the video where we were showing you the current deals. The reverse osmosis system that they have on the shelf at Costco was on sale, and we were looking at getting it, and we ended up getting it, and it was on sale I think typically it's $165, and it was on sale for $140 something maybe. Anyway, he was installing that for me. So while he's doing that, I am gonna plate up dinner for kids. So for people, so we're just gonna slice up some of the chicken. Some kids like chicken on top of the rice, some people don't. Some want the juices ladled on top, some don't. But we're gonna do the chicken, the rice, the yummy veggies, and the bread. And everybody, there's enough for everyone. And again, there's the dogs just hoping that we drop something. They're like, we smell chicken. Anyway, all right. I hope that if you give this a try, you will let me know. I think you will love it. It was so easy to make and incredibly flavorful. And again, my go-to starch is rice, sometimes mashed potatoes, and my go-to veggie or greens are sheet pan veggies. I do them a lot. There you have it. That's how I get dinner on the table for my family. Look at that. Doesn't that look delicious? And you don't have to put a lemon slice on there if you don't want to. So we're going to get all of this on the table for kids, and Lenny's getting that reverse osmosis system installed, and we're gonna call it a night. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching and for hanging out, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye.